Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video on how I made my first mirror. This is my very first PoE league. I haven't played PoE ever. Um, and yeah, I just want to go over what worked, and in a separate video, I'll show what didn't work because that video will be much longer. Just for proof, because for some reason I get a lot of comments that it's fake. Here is the mirror. I bought it for 470 vines, and it's worth 300 now. Not sure what happened there, but it is what it is. So first things first, the most important thing I think for me was finding an OP build. And it sounds really lame because it is, but having a strong build inherently just makes everything easier. So what I started playing the game out as was a Lightning Arrow Deadeye, and this build is very strong. However, at a certain point, my build was worth around 170 divines, yet I could pour that money into a Temporalis and play a Temporalis Auto Bomber. And because this build just blows every other build out of the water because it's OP, the transition was pretty obvious. If I wanted to make currency and, not have to worry about increasing my damage any further, this was the option. So the majority of my early on currency was made using breaches. It is by far the most beginner-friendly league mechanic for farming currency. What you do is you stack quantity tablets on a cluster of towers, and what ends up happening is it affects a whole bunch of maps in range to have breaches with increased quantity. And then you just farm those, and I'd say I made my first 200 divines doing just this. These figures are very rough estimates, by the way. Then I started doing rituals. I have a ritual guide up on my channel if you want to watch how you can farm rituals efficiently, but I made my next 200 divines here. Then this next part is a bit tricky. It's just a bunch of rare loot drops, so I know that I made around 120 divines from Melting Maelstrom. I got really lucky with simulacrums, and yeah, lucky drops are a big thing. It's just an inherent part of the game that to make currency, you just gotta get lucky. Other similar rare drops I dropped a Hoa glove that corrupted to 1 to 12 lightning damage that sold for around 20 divines. I dropped a couple other random rare gear that I think in total would sell for around 20 divine. And the most profitable thing I did was arbitrage. Basically, buy low, sell high. I did this with Audience with the Kings. I have a video about it. It might be fixed now, but the principle applies to a whole lot of other items. I made around 100 divines in 3 days doing this, so by far the most efficient thing I did in terms of divines per hour. Now, you might comment that I said that the build is what's most important, but this is by far the most efficient. And the reason why the build is most important is because you need the initial investment to begin with. I would say that if you want just currency, then playing the market is the easiest way. However, getting to that initial amount where you are quickly racking currency, you're going to need to play the game. So having a good build is important for that. Or you could just be like this guy who spent all his time in the hideout and ended up making quadruple my amount in divines. The final secret sauce to generating a lot of currency is you need to play the game in ungodly amount. I think I have around 500 to 600 hours logged in the game. So pretty much all I do is play the game. And when you put it into perspective, what I own is really unimpressive. Like one mirror for 600 hours, it doesn't sound very right. And brings me to what I would say is the message is that pick goals that are realistic to you given how much you play the game and what you really want out of the game. I mean, it's just the game after all. I made it my goal to get a mirror and that's what I did, but if you just want to play the game and have fun and have a strong build, then you do not need to do what I did. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do not compare yourself to people who spend all their time playing the game, because naturally they will have more stuff than you, but that's not really what matters. I hope you found this video useful, and check out my other video when it comes out. Peace.